The call for aid did not arrive with thunder or flashing light. It came as a faint pulse drifting across the silent paths between stars. A single signal carried a single voice. It came from a distant world known to few and visited by none. Yet the message crossed the dark and found its way to the listening posts that ringed the outer edges of human space. It reached the station watch crew, who expected nothing more than routine scans. The signal flickered on their screens. It carried the trembling tone of someone who spoke with fading strength. It said one word. Help. When the technicians cleaned the signal and played it again, they heard more. The voice belonged to an alien, but not one from any known group. The tone was old. The pauses were heavy. It sounded like someone who had not spoken for a long time. The message said that a world was dying. It said that no one else had answered. It said that any help, no matter how small, could save many lives. Commanders gathered across human fleets. They examined charts and maps. They measured distance and time. The world that sent the call sat near the fringe of known space. It was too far for most powers. Too far to bring a fleet. Too far to risk a full strike group. Yet the message did not ask for a fleet. It asked for any help. The Council sent a call across human worlds. Volunteers stepped forward. Among them was a young officer named Leon. His service record was short, but it carried marks of calm decisions and steady resolve. He served on a small escort ship rated for patrols rather than battles. Yet his captain believed he had the kind of courage needed for a long journey into the unknown. The Armada human command assembled was a thin line of ships rather than a wall. It consisted of one escort craft, 2 supply barges, 1 repair tug, and a medical vessel that normally stayed in safer lanes. It was the smallest armada ever to set sail across such distance. Yet the crews boarded with determination. They saw the message. They heard the weakness in the voice. They knew that someone out there needed them. The ships lifted from dock and set their course. The Armada left behind the built worlds and passed through starless stretches where light grew faint. Days stretched into weeks. The escort craft stayed ahead, sensors wide. Leon served on that ship. He carried out checks, studied unknown signatures, and trained with the landing teams. He kept thinking of the voice in the message. Each time he replayed it, he felt a quiet pull in his chest. He did not know the one who sent it, but he knew that the call was real. The Armada passed dust clouds and empty fields of rock. They avoided storms of radiation and silent fragments of lost machines. The long journey tested engines and patience. The supply barges drifted behind like tired giants. The medical vessel glowed with soft white lights. The repair tug hummed steadily. Human ships often looked fragile compared to the heavy cruisers used by other species. Yet they moved with purpose and strength, born from many generations of exploration. After months of travel, the Armada reached the star mentioned in the signal. It was dim and old. Its light burned low. Orbiting it was a world covered in streaks of ash. The sensors read signs of recent destruction. Fires still smoldered across sections of land. Some cities lay empty. Others showed movement. The escort craft approached slowly. A new signal came from the surface. It carried a trembling voice. The watchers recognized it as the same speaker who sent the first call. The voice welcomed them with surprise and relief. It said that no one expected humans to answer. The voice identified itself as Ryan, elder of the surviving community. Ryan explained that an unknown force struck the world weeks earlier. They arrived with speed and destroyed all defensive towers. Their ships left as quickly as they came. No one knew why. The survivors suffered from injuries, poisoned air, and failing shelters. Leon joined the landing team that touched down near one of the broken cities. The air tasted of dust. The ground carried long cracks like scars. Strange structures that once rose with grace now lay in ruins. The surviving alien people looked thin and weary. Their limbs were long. Their skin carried soft shades of silver. Their eyes glowed faintly. They moved with exhaustion rather than fear. They looked at the humans with disbelief. The medical vessel sent teams to treat wounds. The repair tug dispatched bots to mend water lines and power nodes. The supply barges delivered food packs and shelters. Human engineers set up filters to clear parts of the air. They pumped clean water into broken channels. Each act brought new life to the fading city. Leon walked through the ruins while carrying crates. He studied the alien faces. Many had expressions that mixed hope and shock. These people had expected to die in silence. They had sent a message not knowing if anyone would hear. To them, the arrival of even a few ships meant more than rescue. It meant that the universe had not forgotten them. Ryan met Leon on the third day. Ryan leaned on a carved staff. His voice remained soft yet firm. He explained that the strike force did not come for conquest. They came for something buried beneath the city. Ryan did not know what it was. Old records described a chamber sealed long before the community formed. The invaders took something from that chamber and left a device behind. That device now infected the land with slow waves of damage. It weakened soil. It poisoned air. It drained the ground of life. Leon studied maps and examined reports. The device emitted pulses that matched the energy signature found in several destroyed sectors. The escort craft scanned deeper and found that the device reached into the crust. If left alone, it would collapse the region. The Armada crews planned a joint mission with the survivors. They lacked heavy equipment. They lacked large machines. Yet they had determination. The plan required them to reach the chamber far below the surface and disable the device manually. The entrance lay under a fallen tower. The path was unstable. Cracks reached deep. Yet Leon and a team of engineers prepared to descend. Ryan asked to accompany them. Leon hesitated. The path would be dangerous. Yet Ryan said that the chamber formed part of his people's history. He wished to witness its opening. Leon agreed. They entered the broken tower. Dust floated through the dim air. Walls leaned at odd angles. The floor carried debris in thick layers. They located the shaft that led downward. Its lift was long gone. They climbed down with ropes and careful steps. The deeper they descended, the warmer the air grew. The ground shook at intervals as the device below pulsed. After hours of descent, they reached a vast hall. Its walls shone with faint light. The chamber looked ancient but well crafted. A large opening lay at the center. Above it hovered a cube of dark metal. The cube spun slowly and sent out waves that rippled across the floor. It was the device left by the invaders. The engineers studied it. They found no clear switches, no visible ports. The device did not match any known design. Leon felt the air vibrate as he approached. The cube reacted to movement. The pulsing grew harsher. It sensed the presence of the group. Ryan stepped forward. His voice echoed in the hall. He recited a line from old records. The cube slowed. Its pulse weakened. The engineers realized that the device responded to harmonic tones. They used scanning tools to measure the tone frequencies in Ryan's voice. They repeated the line in steady rhythm. The cube dimmed further. Leon moved closer. He extended a tool to reach the surface of the cube. As soon as the tip touched it, the cube flared with sudden light. The chamber shook. Cracks formed in the walls. The cube released a wave that pushed the group back. It resisted deactivation. Leon tried again. This time he placed his hand on the device, not with force, but with calm. The cube reacted to his biological energy. Human energy differed from the patterns of the invaders. It slowed again. The engineers used the recorded tone pattern. Ryan repeated his lines. Together, they created a field of harmony that weakened the cube. Finally, the cube stopped spinning. Its lights faded. It settled on the platform without resistance. The ground stopped shaking. The air cooled. The pulse that once damaged the land ceased. The device was neutralized. The team climbed back to the surface with relief. When they emerged, the survivors gathered. They sensed the change in the air. They felt the weight lift from the soil. Many wept. They surrounded the humans with gestures of gratitude. The Armada spent the next weeks helping rebuild. They taught new methods for power generation. They built stronger shelters. They cleared damaged zones. They worked until the land began to show signs of recovery. Ryan invited Lion to a gathering where the community shared stories. Ryan spoke of how humans had arrived not with grand fleets, but with courage. He said that strength did not always appear in numbers. Sometimes it appeared in the will to answer a call that others ignored. Lion listened quietly. He did not see himself as a hero. He saw only a mission that needed to be done. Yet he understood why Ryan spoke those words. Humanity had come with its smallest armada. Yet that small group saved an entire world. When the Armada prepared to leave, many survivors lined the path to the ships. Ryan raised his staff and offered a final blessing. He said that if ever humans needed aid, his people would answer with more than a message. They would arrive in person. Leon stepped onto the escort craft and looked back at the recovering world. He felt the weight of the long journey. Yet he also felt pride. Not loud or boastful. Quiet, steady. The kind of pride that came from knowing that humanity had stood up when called. The Armada lifted into the sky.